thing, no, not yet.
Yo, welcome to the Q&A. For those that are pressing record, or I'm one pressing record, for those that are tuning back in, welcome. As we do with the live Q&A, we have questions from people that have asked. If you're jumping on, or if you're Dan, who's next to me, hello. Repping the sexy new shirt. Should be fun. So he may be asking some questions on the side as well. So we'll be more interactive than me just talking to a screen and then saying hello to that person that signs in or people that sign in. So let's dive in. Let's get started. Disclaimer, all information from Vitruvian Health in regards to training, nutrition, and therapy is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose or treat any health conditions and is not a replacement for treatment by a healthcare provider. If you have any concerns, please consult your local GP. Now, sometimes I would say, you know who you should talk to? You should talk to Dr. Amy Mason or Dr. Kathy. Well, lucky you, Dr. Amy Mason is right there. She's a person. She is livable? Yeah, I'm going to use livable. Yeah. Sexy pants, power pants, green pants, and man in a red shirt, so he's ready to go. So she is a real person, and so is Dr. Kai and Kathy. So for oral, Dr. Kai is your guy, and spine, Dr. Is Amy, and then nutrition, dietetics I can do, but I recommend Kathy because, you know, can't be a jack of all trades. So that's the interaction that we have. Let's dive into questions that we have and anyone that joins in. Dr. Mason has a question. We shall answer it. And let's go. So what are the best exercises for abs? Well, the best exercises for abs comes in 3 parts. Number 1 is your diet, because that will decrease the visceral lining fat around the midsection, so you'll see the abs more. The second one is when it comes to working abdominal muscles or any muscle, you have 3 fiber types, type 1, type 2A, type 2B. So you want to hit a meridian of those, so from low repetitions, heavy load, to high repetitions. So you can do like sit-ups, but I think lying on a BOSU allows you to get more stretch through that midline. So it's isolating and more lower abdomen, because a lot of us sit in chairs, so our pelvis is more of an anterior position to compensate for the pelvic tuck. So you want to train those lower abs more and strengthen the hip flexors. And then the third is you want to be doing large compound movements, so you're teaching your abdominals to brace and stay nice and tight. All right, Erin. Next, how many calories should I consume daily? Oh, good question. Depends on the goal. When we design plans for people wanting to work out their daily calorie intake, look at your weight times 30, and that would be what you consume on a daily basis for training, and then minus 20% for your non-training days. So for example, if you're 100 kilos, that's 3,000 calories, minus 20%. Just work out what 10% is. So for the people that aren't great with numbers, what is 10%? So if you went 3,000, 10%, that's 300. So 20%, 600. You just double the number. So if you had 2,500 calories, 250, double it, it's 500. So you minus 500 from 250. If you got 2,100, that's 210. So double it, 420, minus that from 2,100. If you're not sure, there is a calculator function in the phone. So you literally just pop it up. Oh, of course, it malfunctioned in the moment. We get the calculator, type in the numbers. So if you're 58 kilos, times that by 30, 1,740, times it by 0.2, that gives you 348, and then minus it from that number. So that would be your calorie intake to work through. But when working proteins and fats, I go 2 grams per kilo of body weight. So if you weigh 57, double that. That's your protein intake for the day. And then 1 times is your fat intake. So 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So if you double it, times that by 4, that's your calories for protein. The 1 times it by 9, so 57, so it's 57 grams of fat, times that by the 9, and that's what your calorie intake would be for fat. And then you minus that from your total number. And so if we had 600 protein, 400 fat, that's 1,000 calories, minus it from, put it in the fridge for you. Special guest, Rose, walking by. Therefore, you have 1,000 calories, and if you had 700, like minus 1,700, so you've got 700 left, then that is made up of carbohydrates. Divide that by 4, and that's how many grams of carbs you would have for the day. What is the best way to incorporate fitness into a busy schedule? I like to use a 15-minute divider. So I literally get someone's life from the moment they wake up to the moment they sleep, break it into 15-minute slots, and find out where their gaps are. Most people say they're busy. The phrase busy means poorly time managed. And if you're like, I'm not poorly time managed, cool. Well, what you do is go onto your phone, go screen time, and it will pop up activity, and it'll tell you how much you're on your phone. Now, it'll then go see all activity. It'll then divide into YouTube, Netflix, messaging, games, anything you want. So if you're texting a lot of people, be honest, is it all personal or all business? If you're saying it's all business, Carl, cool. But then what were you doing on YouTube? Why are we on Netflix? And you'll find there's probably some gaps there. Oh, I need a break. You don't need a break. You need to do things that fulfill you. So, and that, boom, right there, that's the moment where you can interact, go for a 15, 20-minute walk. A lot of the time, people make it harder than it needs to be. They think, oh, my best friend trains 6 times a week, does 1 hour of cardio every day. I should do that. You should start with 1 hour of training a week, then go 2, then go 3, go 4. Or start 45 minutes or go for a 15, 30-minute walk. That's enough. To get into my routine, every time I wake up, I just jump on a trampoline for 5 minutes. Get my breath going, get pumping, and then that's it. I'm ready to go. Sometimes you just got to make it work. So breaking it up into 15-minute slots allows you to see where the gaps are and just really being honest with yourself. Like if you know you really are busy or not. Is it better to exercise in the morning or the evening? Depends on the person, but the best time to train is the time that works for you. Though from research, people talk about optimal cortisol curves around 12 to o'clock. That's the best time to train, but as long as it works within your schedule. What are some good stretches for flexibility? I believe training through full range of motion is the greatest thing to do to improve flexibility from a weight training perspective to build strength. To holding stretches for 2-3 minutes gets the connective tissue ligaments to open up. So it's really nice to stretch in the evening, which winds you down before you go to bed. And 3 is before training, probably more dynamic, utilizing and warming up the joint and the structure rather than hold the stretch and compromise integrity. Because a stretch muscle is a weaker muscle, a tighter muscle is a strong muscle. What are the best exercises for toning and strengthening the core? All of them. But I believe, personally, the heavier the load, the more you have to brace and the more it's going to work. Toning comes from decreasing fat mass around the area, so that comes from nutrition. How can I improve my cardio fitness? Start. Get a structured plan. If you're interested, I can send you one. I've got a 10-week one that I used to use. It's where you run twice a week. You do cross-country once, and then you do like interval work once. That's a really great way to start. But you don't need to do 6 times. A lot of times when we have runners come to us, a lot of time with runners, they do too much volume and not enough strength work. If you're a runner, I recommend you do strength training 3-4 times a week, doing more full body work or split work. Because some runners do have splits where they run 4 or 5 times a week. So if you are running 4 or 5 times a week, I'd want to train ideally legs on more your lower intensity days. So we train legs first. Yo, that may be Brianna. So hello, the person who is a runner. I say that because she came on last time. She confessed. Now she's gone. Let's get her away. So yeah, with runners, you can, like if you're doing 4 or 5, I think it's too much, but I totally understand why people do it because they've got intensive days, cardiovascular days, low intermittent steady days, which is to build their endurance to go further. So those are the days that we implement strength work for their legs, and there's a set volume that people need to consider. So Jordan Roberts, professional soccer player I worked with, we worked out in peak season for his sport, for his body, total training, when he exceeded over 90 sets in a given week, it affected his running performance. So what we did was we gave him one full body, like one lower body day. We did about 12 sets. It was really just to work and strengthen his limbs. So it was done on Tuesday, 3 days after his game, 4 days before his next game. So we found that was the sweet spot for him. And then 2 upper body days. And if his game was later in the evening, we then did a 4th day, which was training arms, because you got to look good on camera. So that's a way to work with people for the running and the core and improving cardiovascular fitness and considering strength. What are some good workouts for turning the arms and legs? Train the arms and the legs. That's the best way to do it. What I would suggest is, number one, start with 5 sets per body part. So you could do 5 on biceps, 5 on triceps, 5 on legs. Take photos or progress shots every 2 weeks or every week. Week is preferable, but 2 weeks is good. At 4 weeks' time, reassess, reevaluate your strength, and if you've hit a plateau, change. If you're not noticing the change in the body comp, then increase to 8 to 10 sets, or maybe do a second workout in the week doing the same thing. So that'll increase your volume. You should see a change. If you get up to the point where you're doing 30 sets in the given week, then it's time definitely for a change. Sorry, my eye is itchy. Okie dokie. Meanwhile, I will open this fridge so I can put Rose's food away so it stays nice and cool and refreshed. We have 2 nice Tupperware containers. Meal prep done. Very nice, very nice. Everybody knows. She won't be happy that I did that, but it's its own. We acknowledge those people prepping. So let's move on to the next one. How much water should I drink before, during, and after a workout? I did this yesterday or last week, but answer hasn't changed. I recommend drinking 0.35 times to 0.7 times your body weight, so 3.5 liters to 7 liters of water a day. And I personally do about a liter before I start my workouts, because I do it first thing in the morning, and then I work out like an hour later. So I probably had about a liter of water. It really depends on how you feel, and staying hydrated is the key. What works for you. But sipping on water through the workout works quite well. I like to have aminos with my water, and I sip on it during my workout. So big guzzle before I start, and then I sip through the workout, and then I finish the rest after. Just don't like a lot of it sitting in me during the workout. So feedback for you there. How often should I work out? Depends on the goal, but I recommend 3 to 6 times a week. You can train 7 times a week, but most people just mentally aren't ready for it. But I also find it work quite nicely knowing that we have a rest day through the week. So, you push hard for 6 days and you know that you've earned that 6th day for sure. So that's how we work it. What workout is best for abs? All of them, lifting heavier loads, different variations and angles, and the one that you can actually feel you're working and control of. How can I measure my progress? Track the data. Hire a coach to do body comp, body fat tests, assessments, take progress photos, and do a biometric assessment. If you're like, what is that? Shoot an email at info@vitruvianhealth.com.au and I'll send you the document. And you just fill it out every week and you just look at where the numbers are. Because you can, I came up with a thing called the chocolate brownie protocol. So it's where, and it only works well for females, probably because I blow up, I get fat. So I get bloated, so I look pregnant. So my partner, Kate, she loves testing me. Love her cotton socks. She loves to prove that I don't know what I know. But I've caught her out every time, which is great. So she is super relaxed. The side tends to be, I found. So body comp assessment that we use, some people will say it's wooey, some say it's accurate. It really works with people. So you have to understand is you're using a tool, body fat assessment, with a person, and you need to hear what the person says, how they feel. So realize with Kate, when she eats poor nutrient-dense carbohydrates, her suprarealic goes up. When she eats certain carbs, hers goes down. That's what works for her. So we noticed that when she ate a chocolate fudge brownie, gluten-free, that's the most important part, of course, is that she dropped weight. And I was like, wonderful. So we did it for 7 days, and she got leaner and leaner and leaner. And on the 7th day, she's like, this is impossible. I should be getting fat. And then on the 8th day, her body fat went up, and she was like, damn it. So chocolate brownie protocol, I implemented with a lot of females back in the day when I worked in Hilton, and they all got leaner. And on the end of the week, they're like, this is impossible. And on the day that they decided it was impossible, the body decided, okay, sure. So to answer that question, you should track so you can then make assessments and educated guesses of what changes you should make. So eat chocolate cake every day, see what happens. And then but be reasonable to go there. I should stop doing that if it's not going the way you want. How often do I need a rest day? You don't need a rest day. You just need to optimize your recovery. But I like to have one rest day so you can focus on more fats and allowing the body to rest to recover. Technically you don't, but that's preference. What are the benefits of exercising regularly? We're running an event on it tomorrow, so come and attend at Circular Quay, 2 p.m. and find out. But I'll tell you now, decreases stress, improves cognitive function, improves posture, makes you feel stronger. If you're stronger, you're more confident, decreased risk of injuries, plus improved body composition, so internally you feel better with yourself, and allows you to eat more. Win-win. What other types of exercises for weight loss? There is no such thing as an exercise for weight loss. It comes from nutrition at the end of the day. But if you were to push me, I would say more high rep work, or a combination of low intensive work where you lift heavy and then some high rep work after to stimulate mitochondrial fatigue or cause metabolic buildup. So that causes the metabolism to work a bit more, gets those muscles pumping. So things that exhaust you, not to failure. How many exercises is recommended for good health? Depends on the person, because if you have a issue with your shoulder, just focusing on your hips and adductors is not going to help. So we should focus on that. Health is absence of disease. So things that cause you ease in life would be the best exercises for that. So face pulls, split squats, passive hangs, shoulder dislocates. You could do bench press, but I think dumbbell press gets more stretch to the pecs, that opens you up. Pull-ups, deadlifts, because it strengthens the back. If you had to push me for back squat or deadlifts, but I personally prefer squats, so I'm going to say squats as well. There's some good ones to work with. Single arm dumbbell row, because that gets your thoracic to rotate, because it's designed to move. Good. Exercises for improving flexibility, going through. What are the best exercises for building muscle? All of them. Lately, I've seen a lot of videos of like, don't do Arnold presses, do just normal shoulder press. Well, the purpose of the Arnold press is to put more stretch to the front delt, putting some muscles under greater demand, and you're using that rotation and momentum, so you can kind of bypass a weak point in the tricep. So they're all good. Just the allocation and planning of them is really what's important. So the way that we program at Vitruvian Health is we go compounds first, or we go weaknesses first, compounds, accessories to the compound, and then any remedials to supplement and work with that. So, for example, if your external rotator you've got a shoulder issue and you really need to work external rotation, start there. But the remedial to maybe a press, maybe your rear delts or your rhomboids, and that's what we put in there, or remedial to bring up your arms. So that's how we program. Now, if you did 3 sets, so let's say you did 6 exercises, 3 sets for each, 3 times 6 is 18. Times that by 5, and that's your total workout. So if you're like, how many is that? Well, that would be 90 sets. Now, we would take body comp, take photos, and assess and establish your baseline. We track your load. So if your load goes from 0 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25, we can theorize that, well, for a muscle to get stronger, it would also have to hypertrophy at a point. And that's why we keep tracking and progressing. If we hit a point of a plateau, that's where we've got to really grind and work for it. But that's where we're going to cause that adaptation for muscle to grow. Now, 12 weeks later, we might look at your photos and go, nothing has changed. That is where we would say, cool, 90 sets, maybe insufficient amount of volume for you. So let's increase the volume or change the exercise so we can push through the plateau and keep getting stronger. Because if you look at bodybuilders, they do more sets and volume. You look at powerlifters, they do more load, and those guys are big and strong. So like there's an argument between who's the biggest and strongest. Everyone's got mass to them, and you can't disregard any of them because they all have their own right. But you can take elements from both of it. So we like to get people strong, but we also like to add volume methods into the program every so often to not shock the muscle, but a way to increase the volume demands, bring it back down, get stronger, increase the volume demands, and we fluctuate. And that's known as something as an intensification and accumulation. Accumulation, intensification from volume. But if you go load, intensification, accumulation, correct. So in summary, track your volume, track your calories, track your progress. What are some good stretches to do before and after cardio workout? I don't do them. I do corrective exercises, warm up the calves, the hips. Dynamic would probably be the go-to to get the body prepped and ready to go. Have a nice hot shower afterwards. Don't sit too long. Get moving straight away. Yes. What is the best cardio workout for weight loss, sex? because everyone wins then. But low intermittent steady state cardio would be my go-to because it's low impact and it keeps us in the fat oxidative state. Most people think running is king, but it actually burns more glucose, so carbohydrates, as an energy source. If we can get you at that 65 or less intensity method of heart rate variability of volume, just how many times your heart beats. So like they say 220 minus your age. So if I was 20, the range is 200. So therefore 100 to 120, 130 would be my range for low intermittent steady state cardio. That's usually just a power walk. And so that gets a light sweat, that effect. And that is going to burn a good amount of fat. But like you could run and you could burn 600 calories, but you could walk and burn say 300. But you can do that same walk for an hour every single day and it doesn't beat up your body. If you ran every day, you probably feel it a little bit. So what would happen is you dial it back. So if you did 5 times, that's 3,000 calories versus the walking 7 days. 7 times 3 is 2,100. So it's 900 calorie difference. But over time, you can continue to do this where the running may have to taper back. So I like things that are easy and simple. I also can't do my emails on a run. That look funny. But on a walk on a treadmill, 4.2 kilometers an hour at 2% incline, I can. So I can get more things done. Or the first time when Kate did it, so Kate's a lawyer for anyone that's curious. So I love lawyers, accountants, doctors. They just think differently. So what she did, she wanted to, on a fat loss protocol, she wanted to drop weight. So she committed to it. But what she did was she brought her work with her. So her work was on the treadmill on her left, and the work she completed was on her right. So she would do a 1 hour walk. She would get like A0 butchers of paper and highlight and scribble. People are like, you using that treadmill? She's like, oh, that's my work completed, so yes. And like, what? She's like, well, there's a treadmill over there. Go use that one. Like some people just wanted to be next to her. She's like, what's wrong with you? I'm working. Like, go away. It was fun to watch. So I trained clients. I would just watch her. She's like scribbling, making notes, fold it, put it there, grab the next folder, open it up, be propped up, and she'd watch like, she'd have a music in her ear and she's like focused. And I'd be like, babe. And she's like, what? She's like, can't you see I'm working? I'm like, give her a kiss and then run away. And she's like, oh, get back into it and then fold, put that folder down. So it was great to watch. She'd come in with like 3 folders, but like how she got ahead and she got the walking in. So great memory of Kate. How can I increase the intensity of my cardio workouts? Go faster, go further, increase the incline. Use the Stairmaster. Stairmaster is a great, a lot of time with people for cardio, variation is great. So use the bike, use the elliptical, use the Stairmaster, treadmill, run outside, do it backwards. Those are ways to intensify. But for running, the challenge with running is that it's your body weight. If you put a weight vest on, that's a lot of loading on the joint repetitively. But for running, you have to run faster, further. But using the Stairmaster, elliptical, these things you can create more intensity, shortening the time frame. So you're putting more resistance against the muscle. Great for people that may be finding it hard to get runs in. So it's a way to compact that time. So if you did say 20 minutes on the Stairmaster compared to your 1 hour run, what you're doing is you're just keeping that body moving, keeping elliptical would keep the movement pattern whilst low impact, so you can go for speed. Because if you ran faster on a treadmill, like it is loading. So elliptical is a lower impact. You could do like 20 minutes of that high resistance. So you're still working the movement, and then Stairmaster, because that would get the push of the foot, because most people need to learn how to drive off their feet. So if you were spaced for time, so this is a great thing, because I talked to Brianna about this morning. We're talking about like it's not running, like prioritizing sleep. So great stuff. Highly recommend we prioritize sleep. But sometimes for those that really want to do cardio, and I really don't like to say this, but as a coach, get clients result, and so I have to talk to that. So for the result, if you got super busy, just get in the gym, get on a Stairmaster, or find a set of stairs, even better, because you can run up, walk down, run up, walk down, run up, walk down. 20 minutes, give you 15, but 20 minutes would be a good point. So you're just keeping your cardiovascular up, you're keeping the resistance in the legs. So then when you go back to running, when you've got the time in 2, 3, 4 weeks, you'll find that it should be the same or easier because you've built the strength in the legs. Okay, when you run that 40, 50 minutes, okay, you'll start to notice your capacity might not be there, but the body will feel lighter, and it's a greater way to just stay on top of that. I was going to do 3 times a week for myself, but I'm only doing 2 at the moment, just because of time. I do the elliptical. Stairmasters are usually taken. How can I make sure I'm not overtraining or risk of injury? Work on your recovery. Overtraining is a myth. In my opinion, it's only been 2 recorded cases and they did. Most people just don't recover enough. To answer the risk of injury, be more conscious and slow down the movement so you're in total control. What are some good cardio workouts to do if I don't have access to a gym, the bedroom? Walking, skipping, boxing, grab a friend, go for a group run, jumping on a trampoline. I love it. It's what I do. Love it. What do you call an octopus's babies? Oh my God, this is stars. So to give everyone context, training 2 gentlemen, and one goes, he kept asking questions, and then he turns around, he goes, are you kidding me? You always have an answer. I go, what's my job? To know like exercise and training. He goes, oh, do you not know something? I'm like, ask more questions. And his partner walks in out of nowhere and goes, what's the name of a baby octopus? Whilst he leans over.
Baby octopus?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Larvae.
Larvae?
Yeah.
I learned something new.
Yep. I looked it up. Baby octopus is called, yep, larvae. Larvae. In my head, I thought I misspelled it, so I had to check it. But yeah, larvae. So he said that to me, and I laughed because then I looked at his partner and said, see, don't know everything. He goes, that's fair. Yeah, caught me off. I was like, octopi? He's like, no. He didn't know the answer, so he just threw me off. So yeah, there you go. Fun fact for everyone, larvae. What is the best time to nap? Before 3 o'clock. 20 minutes nap time. In a cycle of sleep, you can go in between deep and REM. So a nap, 20 minutes, known as a siesta, keeps you in a light state of sleep and as a way to rejuvenate, but doesn't have you go into the groggy feeling. Come on. Oh, so that's a way to get out of that. So you can feel rested. Even just lying down and just deep breaths. So like 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., I have an alarm that sets me set intention for the day for that 4 hours, and I take 10 deep breaths beforehand. When is the latest to nap? I just answered that one too. So cool. Best time to nap. Not having enough potassium in the system for glycogen synthesis doesn't occur. Thoughts? Is it considered when at the end stage of prep? So we were talking about potassium and sodium. So when prepping in comp, you decrease your nutrients. So what can happen is people don't feel a pump when they're training. So the sodium potassium pump can be off. So this is where some athletes will supplement with sodium into their pre-workout or intra-workout so they can keep their electrolytes topped up, so they can get sufficient contraction and pump. Because glycogen is stored in the muscle, so to utilize that. Hopefully that was a good answer. Dan's like, needs some work. Thanks, mate. When training for a long period of time, increases free testosterone in the system. That was me. So this occurred by me watching a video of a guy called Jesse West, who watched, it'd be even funny if that was him. So he did no fat for 30 days. So he did not the business for 30 days, and he wanted to increase his free tests. So I put down, when training for a long period of time, increasing free testosterone in the system. So we have a spike in growth hormone to signal for protein synthesis. So testosterone isn't just the precursor to building muscle, like it does help with mobilizing free fatty acids, which then converts like cholesterol. Christian Maurice is my guy that does all this science. So I'm not even gonna go into it. He's the guy that can just do this. I probably will get him to do an event, or Rawdon, to talk about that in more detail. So So it's a great question. All I know is that we make the body more efficient, we decrease fat, that decreases the toxic load on the body, so then the body can do more of what it wants. Resistance training, 1, and heart development. Resistance training, do it, and heart development. Well, the heart contracts to pump blood. There is a point where that's concern for people that take stuff. So some people can take exogenous supplements that can enhance their natural body's ability to hypertrophy, but sometimes that can hypertrophy the heart. So, which is a concern because then makes it harder for contracting the heart muscle, and that's why a lot of people that take these things die earlier because their heart has to work even harder. So, if you want to improve your cardiovascular system, what you should do is get a heart rate monitor, and I'm looking for one right now, which I don't have somewhere, but I can't see it. Get a heart rate monitor, see what your systolic and diastolic pressure is. They say it should be 120/80. See where you're at. Implement cardiovascular training or resistance training. We do this with all of our clients. We test it, and then in 12 weeks, we will then retest to see where it's at. So that's what you should be looking to do as well, because you want to improve your heart's efficiency at contracting and pumping blood to working muscles. Questions, Dan?
No questions yet.
Marvelous. Adios, amigos. Bye.
Have a good week, everyone.